What if everything we know about human history is wrong? Across the world, ancient cultures, separated by oceans and millennia, tell eerily similar stories: a great flood, a lost golden age, and a sudden, catastrophic reset that wiped nearly everything away. From the biblical flood of Noah to the Sumerian deluge, from the sunken hulls of Atlantis to the drowned kingdoms of India and South America, the pattern is unmistakable. Mainstream historians call them myths. But what if they're not just stories? What if they're survivor accounts, encoded in religion and legend, preserving the memory of a forgotten civilization far more advanced than we've been led to believe? Beneath the ruins, under the seas, and hidden in plain sight, fragments of a suppressed past are beginning to surface. A past where humanity may have reached incredible heights, only to be wiped clean by a cataclysm, leaving behind a broken memory buried under millennia of silence. This is the story of global flood myths. And the possibility that we are not the first advanced civilization to walk this earth. Cross-cultural consistency of flood myths. It's one of the most curious coincidences in human history. Nearly every ancient civilization, from the jungles of Mesoamerica to the mountains of Tibet, has a story of a great flood that wiped out the world, only to be followed by a rebirth of humanity. How is it possible that cultures separated by oceans and thousands of years all tell the same essential story? In the Epic of Gilgamesh, the gods flood the earth to punish mankind, with one man, Utnapishtim, surviving in a great boat. The Bible's Noah's Ark follows nearly the same plot. The Hindu text Satapatha Brahmana tells of Manu, warned by a talking fish of a global flood. Native American tribes like the Hopi, South American civilizations like the Inca, and even Aboriginal Australians have eerily similar tales. Mainstream historians dismiss these parallels as coincidence or archetypal myths. But is it really likely that so many different peoples just happen to invent the same apocalyptic scenario? Or, could they all be remembering the same event, passed down through generations, distorted but not erased? Some theorists believe these flood stories are cultural echoes of a real, global cataclysm that happened over 10,000 years ago, possibly marking the fall of an advanced pre-Ice Age civilization. Here's where it gets even stranger: some of these myths mention things that shouldn't exist in their timeline. Technologies. Star alignments. Advanced knowledge of astronomy and geometry. Could this be the last trace of a forgotten race, wiped out by a massive flood, possibly triggered by a comet impact, pole shift, or even deliberate destruction? And if ancient people were warning us, encoding real memories into myth, why are modern institutions so eager to write it off as fiction? The Atlantis narrative and lost civilizations. Atlantis. Just the word conjures visions of a glittering, advanced civilization, one that mysteriously vanished beneath the waves. While mainstream academics brush it off as just a metaphor, from Plato's dialogues, conspiracy researchers and ancient history enthusiasts have long suspected there's more to the story. Plato wasn't vague. He claimed Atlantis was a powerful maritime empire beyond the Pillars of Hercules, modern Gibraltar, with advanced architecture, incredible technology, and even flying machines, according to later interpretations. He said it fell in a single day and night of earthquakes and floods. That level of detail doesn't sound like pure allegory, it sounds like a historical account handed down through secret knowledge. And here's the kicker: Plato said the story came from Egyptian priests, who claimed it was already ancient in their time. Now zoom out. The Maya spoke of a drowned homeland called Aztlan. Tamil legends speak of Kumari Kan Dam, a sunken continent south of India. Indigenous Australians tell of a time when the oceans rose and swallowed their lands. Even the Dogon tribe of Mali speaks of ancestors from a lost star system, possibly tied to an advanced pre-flood people. All around the world, we find whispers of civilizations lost not by time, but by a massive cataclysm. So what if Atlantis wasn't just real, but one of many advanced civilizations, connected by a global prehistoric network we've long since forgotten? Look at the global distribution of pyramids, megalithic sites, and underwater ruins like Yonaguni in Japan or Dvarka in India. Why are there so many impossibly precise stone structures with astronomical alignments we can barely replicate? Some theorists propose that these civilizations were wiped out in a reset event. Perhaps a comet strike, like the Younger Dryas Impact hypothesis suggests, or even an ancient war using lost technologies. Maybe Atlantis was not the exception, but the norm, one of many cultures that rose to greatness before being buried by time, water, and secrecy. And if this is true, then the real question is, what else has been hidden from us, and why? Wait. If you like this video, please give us a like, leave a comment behind, and don't forget to subscribe, since we have a new video every day. And now, let's roll back to the video. Myths as encoded history, symbolism versus memory. For centuries, mainstream scholars have dismissed ancient flood myths as symbolic tales, moral fables meant to teach lessons about divine punishment or rebirth. But what if they're wrong? What if these so-called myths aren't metaphors at all, but distorted memories of real, global cataclysms? Memories so devastating and so ancient that they became legend. Think about it. Oral traditions are known to preserve real historical events for thousands of years. Aboriginal Australians, for example, have passed down stories about rising seas that scientists now link to the end of the last ice age, over 10,000 years ago. Could this mean other flood myths are doing the same, remembering a world-changing event that destroyed a once global civilization? Many ancient texts are far too specific to be pure symbolism. Why do so many stories mention stars shifting in the sky, the sun standing still, or oceans boiling? These aren't just poetic flourishes, they sound suspiciously like eyewitness descriptions of planetary upheaval. Massive solar flares, planetary alignments, comet impacts, pole shifts. Ancient people may have interpreted what they saw in the only language they had, myth. But what they saw might have been very real. And here's where it gets unsettling: modern science has uncovered physical evidence, like layers of blackened earth, sudden climate shifts, and ancient craters, that matches these myths eerily well. Sites like Göbekli Tepe appear to encode astronomical data pointing to a global disaster around 10,800 BC. Why would a prehistoric temple track the stars so precisely, unless someone was trying to warn us? Some researchers suggest ancient elites encoded their knowledge in myth, art, and architecture. Not to be poetic, but to preserve vital information after the fall of a prior civilization. They knew the truth would eventually be buried, misinterpreted, or outright suppressed by later powers. And those powers, religious institutions, governments, even modern academia, may have a vested interest in keeping humanity blind to its own past. Because if humanity has risen, and fallen, before, what's stopping it from happening again? Reset theories and forbidden archaeology. If we truly want to understand humanity's past, we have to ask a dangerous question: what if this isn't our first civilization? What if history, as we're taught, is just one layer of a much older, much more advanced past, one that was erased in a cataclysmic reset? All over the world, we find remnants that don't fit the official timeline. Massive, precisely cut stone blocks in Baalbek, Lebanon, some weighing over 1,000 tons, supposedly moved with Bronze Age technology. Megalithic ruins like those at Puma Punku in Bolivia, with machine-like precision and interlocking joints, carved from andesite, a stone harder than steel tools of the time. Underwater cities like Yonaguni near Japan or Dvarka off the coast of India that challenge our understanding of sea levels and construction timelines. These aren't outliers, they're evidence of something bigger, a missing chapter in human history. This is the essence of the reset theory, the idea that a once global, technologically advanced civilization was wiped out by a sudden cataclysm, like the Younger Dryas Impact, pole shift, or even something more sinister, plunging the survivors back into a primitive state. Over thousands of years, their achievements became myth, their knowledge lost, until now, when we're just beginning to uncover the truth beneath our feet. But here's where things take a conspiratorial turn: every time researchers, explorers, or even rogue academics bring forward hard questions about impossible ruins, ancient tech, or forbidden artifacts, they're silenced, discredited, or ignored. Why? What is modern archaeology afraid of? Many believe there's a coordinated effort to protect the conventional narrative. After all, admitting that civilization is far older, and that it rises and falls in cycles, would shatter our understanding of history, religion, and power. If we've done this before, how advanced did we become? Did we harness energy technologies we can't replicate today? Were there global networks, flying machines, or even consciousness-based sciences that modern institutions are hiding? The forbidden archaeology movement isn't just about ancient tools or misdated bones, it's about uncovering the truth that humanity may have been far more advanced, far earlier than we've been told. And if there's been a reset before, we need to ask ourselves, are we heading toward another one? And who will write the history that comes next? Conclusion. While the idea of an ancient advanced civilization lost to a global cataclysm may seem far-fetched to some, the sheer consistency of flood myths across cultures, and the growing body of archaeological anomalies, suggests there's more to our past than we currently understand. Whether these stories are distorted memories of real events, allegorical tales passed down through generations, or remnants of a forgotten global trauma, they deserve deeper investigation. Scientific research into abrupt climate changes, rising sea levels after the last ice age, and potential comet impacts, such as the Younger Dryas event, is beginning to align with these ancient stories. At the same time, sites like Göbekli Tepe challenge the traditional timeline of civilization, hinting that organized societies may have existed far earlier than previously believed. We may never uncover definitive proof of Atlantis or a lost global superpower, but the convergence of myth, geology, and archaeology opens the door to a more nuanced understanding of our origins. Rather than dismissing ancient texts as mere fiction, perhaps it's time we listen more closely to the echoes of the past, because hidden within the legends may lie real warnings, and real lessons. In the end, exploring these narratives isn't about indulging fantasy. It's about asking bold questions, challenging assumptions, and remaining open to the possibility that humanity's story is far older and far more mysterious than we've been taught.